confirmation that Diana, Princess of Wales, has in fact been killed in that car accident.
See television from London. Diana, Princess of Wales, has died after a car crash in Paris.
They're ringing to symbolise that the coffin of Lady Diana is leaving Buckingham Palace and is en route to the service that will be held at the church.
Princess Diana died 25 years ago, on the 31st of August 1997. But even today, she is still the princess of the people. Her sons, Princes William and Harry, continue to honor her legacy. How did Princess Diana shape William and Harry's life? Watch this video to see the legacy that Diana left behind. Lady Diana Spencer was an aristocrat with many links to the royal family tree. Queen Elizabeth II and Diana were more alike than anyone realized. Both were strong and devoted to their families and subjects. They both had thrown themselves into public service. However, while the Queen was silent and traditional, Diana was outspoken and very modern in her thoughts. At first, everything was smooth. Elizabeth and Philip both thought that Diana was acceptable, and they encouraged the union between her and Charles. After the wedding, the Queen began entrusting Diana with royal responsibilities to show her confidence in the new princess. Diana's first solo task was to represent the royal family at the funeral of Princess Grace of Monaco. The Queen allowed her to take this on, although Charles didn't think it was a good idea. According to Andrew Morton's 1992 book, Diana, Her True Story, in her own words, the princess recalled, "I went to the Queen and I said, 'You know I'd like to do this.' And she said, 'I don't see why not. If you want to do this, you can.'" The event was a success, and the Queen could see that the princess had a way with people that could leverage the popularity of the royal family. She was an asset, to a point, until she stole the show, said Ariane Chernock, an associate professor of history at Boston University, focusing on modern British history and monarchy. Part of the challenge, though, for the Queen and especially for Charles, was that Diana, she shined so brightly that she really, not necessarily intentionally, eclipsed those around her. Many reports suggest that Philip was unkind to Diana, but this contradicts the tone of the many letters he wrote to his daughter-in-law when her marriage was on the rocks. In one letter he said, "I want to do my utmost to help you and Charles to the best of my ability, but I am quite ready to concede that I have no talent as a marriage counselor." In another, he sympathized with Diana and put much of the blame on Charles. But after the publication of Morton's 1992 biography, Diana, Her True Story in her own words, Prince Philip wrote a series of letters to Diana in which he spoke about how her irrational behavior and jealousy were to blame for many of her marital problems with Charles. Charles and Diana were mismatched from the start. The relationship between the Queen and Diana started to deteriorate as the marriage crumbled. Diana was asked by her friends to ignore any doubts of an affair between her husband and longtime friend Camilla Parker Bowles. But Diana felt she had to give Camilla a piece of her mind. Camilla and Charles were chatting with another friend in a room when Diana asked to have a moment alone with Camilla. The Princess of Wales said she was terrified of Camilla, but she still told her boldly, "I'd just like you to know that I know exactly what is going on." Camilla denied the claim by saying she didn't know what she was talking about. Diana remembered Camilla saying she had everything she could ever want and all the men in the world. When asked what more she could want, Diana told Camilla, "I want my husband." Diana apologized to Camilla for being in the way of her and Charles, but she was still outraged. "I do know what's going on," she said to Camilla. "Don't treat me like an idiot." In the car on the way back, Diana said that she cried like never before. She was sleepless the following night. Diana said that even though she felt jealous, she also felt a tremendous shift after this. "I'd done something, said what I felt," explained Diana. Still the old jealousy and the anger swirling around, but it wasn't so deathly as it had been before. 3 weeks after the confrontation with Camilla, Diana asked Charles if he wondered what she had said to Camilla that day. Diana told Charles, "I just said I loved you, and there's nothing wrong in that." Diana described the royal family as cold, heartless, unfeeling, and unsympathetic. She said that she received little guidance from anyone at the palace, neither from Charles and his family nor from their staff. Even the Queen's office did not provide any help in taming the media, which was obsessed with the princess. In tapes from 1993, Diana said that she was not given the support she needed when she went sobbing to ask the Queen for help with the marriage. "So I went to the top lady and said, 'I don't know what I should do,' Diana said. She said, 'I don't know what you should do,' and that was it. That was help." When she threw herself down the stairs at Sandringham while pregnant with Prince William, the Queen comes out absolutely horrified, shaking. She was so frightened, Diana shared in the Morton tapes. She also shared that Charles, at the same time, went out riding, and when he came back, it was just dismissal, total dismissal. Charles and Diana separated in 1992, but their separation dragged on for many years. Elizabeth decided that it was time to end things formally. In 1995, Buckingham Palace released a statement to the press. After considering the present situation, the Queen wrote to both the Prince and Princess earlier this week and gave them her view, supported by the Duke of Edinburgh, that an early divorce is desirable. The Prince of Wales also takes this view and has made this known to the Princess of Wales. The Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh will continue to do all they can to help and support the Prince and Princess of Wales, and most particularly their children, in this difficult period. 2 years after announcing their separation, the world saw a new Diana. In 1994, Diana attended an event in a stunning black dress, shocking the world. It was her revenge dress. Earlier that day, Charles's documentary had aired, in which he had admitted his infidelity. "We call it the revenge dress because she wore it the same evening Prince Charles confessed to his adultery with Camilla," explained Carrie Taylor, who auctioned some of Diana's clothing. While some would have been like, "I can't face it this evening," Diana went out in that dress looking drop-dead gorgeous. She made a big statement. Diana's relationship with Prince William also changed significantly after her divorce. She was very vulnerable around William. She would even cry on his shoulder. William would slide tissues underneath the door to Diana's bathroom when he could hear her crying. He reportedly told her, "It'll be all right, Mummy. It'll be all right. I'll look after you in her hours of need." Perhaps it should have been Diana comforting her kids, but the divorce gave Diana some freedom, and she often took her boys to restaurants and amusement parks. She had to give up the title of Her Royal Highness, although she was allowed to keep the title of Princess of Wales. She started dating again, although both Charles and she had had affairs while they were married, but separated. On the 30th of August 1997, Diana and her rumored boyfriend, Imad Dodi Fayed, arrived in Paris after a 10-day getaway on the French Riviera. They dined at the Ritz in Paris, owned by Fayed's father at the time. A few minutes past midnight, Diana and Fayed left the hotel and got into the car waiting for them. The speed limit was 30 miles per hour, but the driver, Henry Paul, was driving at 70 miles per hour. He lost control of the car and crashed in the middle of the highway. Paul and Fayed were declared dead at the scene, but Diana was still alive and rushed to the Petit-Salpêtrière hospital. Doctors operated for 2 hours, but failed to get Diana's heart beating again. Diana's last words were, "My God, what's happened?" Many people question what really caused the accident. Even today, there are a lot of conspiracy theories about the crash. People wonder if it was really an accident or was it something planned. But in 2006, findings of Operation Paget were released, and the evidence is overwhelming that it was just a traffic accident. Diana's former in-laws kept a stoic silence. The royal family members, who were vacationing at Balmoral Castle, were notified by phone. Nobody made any public statement. If you're looking for the moment when the British monarchy was most severely challenged and found itself most at odds with public opinion, it has to be following the death of Diana and the perception that the Queen and the royal family didn't care, said Robert Lacey, author of Battle of Brothers, William, Harry, and the Inside Story of a Family in Tumult. William and Harry were devastated. "There's nothing like it in the world," William said. "There really isn't. It's like an earthquake has just run through the house and through your life and everything. Your mind is completely split, and it took me a while for it to actually sink in." Diana was buried on a small island in the middle of the Oval Lake at the Althorpe estate, her family home. "The first time I cried was at the funeral on the island. And only since then, maybe once, Harry said in the documentary. So you know, there's a lot of grief that still needs to be let out. If I'd known that that was the last time I was going to speak to my mother, the things that I would have said to her. All I do remember regretting for the rest of my life is how short that phone call was, he said. Looking back now, I had to live with that for the rest of my life. In an interview with Newsweek, Harry explained how difficult it was for him to handle the news of his mother's death. My mother had just died, and I had to walk a long way behind her coffin, surrounded by thousands of people watching me, while millions more did on television, said Harry, now 32. I don't think any child should be asked to do that under any circumstances. I don't think it would happen today. Diana's brother, Lord Spencer, blamed the media for the crash and called his sister the most hunted person of the modern age. In a rare break in royal protocol, the Queen bowed her head as Diana's coffin went past. At 12 years old, Harry was in shock over the death of his mother. He couldn't understand how his mother could mean so much to too many people he had never met. It was very, very strange after her death, you know, the sort of outpouring of love and emotion from so many people that had never even met her, Harry said, in Diana, Our Mother. And I was thinking to myself, how is it that so many people that never even met this woman, my mother, can be crying and showing more emotion than I actually am feeling? Harry chose to keep the stunning blue 12-carat sapphire and diamond ring that Charles purchased for his bride-to-be in 1981. However, the brothers agreed that whoever got engaged first would be allowed to pass the ring on to his fiancée. So when William decided to ask Kate to marry him, Harry gave the ring to his brother. When William popped the question to Catherine Middleton, he proposed to her with the ring that once belonged to his mother. On the other hand, Harry designed Meghan's ring himself, and the two diamonds on either side of the larger one came from Diana's personal collection. On their wedding day, Meghan carried a bouquet that included forget-me-nots, Diana's favorite flower. Harry had picked the flowers himself from a private garden at Kensington Palace. According to a statement from Kensington Palace, Harry was keen to involve his mother's family in his wedding. Obviously, she's not going to be around to share in all the fun and excitement, so this is my way of keeping her close to it all, William said of Diana on ITV News shortly after he got engaged to Kate. On the 10th anniversary of Diana's death in 2007, Harry spoke during a service held in a chapel in Buckingham Palace about what Diana meant to him and his brother. William and I can separate life into two parts. There were those years when we were blessed with the physical presence beside us of both our mother and father, Harry said. And then there are the 10 years since our mother's death. When she was alive, we completely took for granted her unrivaled love of life, laughter, fun, and folly. She was our guardian, friend, and protector. She never once allowed her unfaltering love for us to go unspoken or undemonstrated. She will always be remembered for her amazing public work, but behind the media glare, to us, just two loving children, she was quite simply the best mother in the world. She would just engulf you and squeeze you as tight as possible, Harry recalls in the documentary. Even talking about it now, I can feel the hugs that she used to give us, and, you know, I miss that. I miss that feeling. I miss that part of a family. I miss having that mother, to be able to give you those hugs and give you that compassion that I think everybody needs. Prince Harry explained the main lesson he learned from Diana. My mother instilled in me, and in all of us, a drive to speak up and fight for a better world. Diana's death was a turning point for the monarchy. The death certainly changed the Queen, at least a little. It was a challenging period for the crown. Many predicted the end of the monarchy in the late 1990s, but it was the Queen's resilience that helped the monarchy regain its popularity. I think she developed a much finer appreciation for messaging, for showing that she was emotionally connected to her people and in touch, and tried to incorporate some informality, even though scripted, into her role, said Chernock. Harry has since become an advocate for mental health awareness. I really regret not ever talking about it, Prince Harry said at an event for a mental health charity in 2016. For the first 28 years of my life, I never talked about it. It is okay to suffer, but as long as you talk about it, it's not a weakness. Weakness is having a problem and not recognizing it, and not solving that problem. Both princes have continued their mother's charity work for various organizations. They also draw attention to issues Diana spoke about, like homelessness, HIV, and mental health. Harry and Marital were spotted delivering meals to critically ill people in West Hollywood. Even Charlotte, William and Kate's daughter, has inherited Diana's selflessness. Today, Harry is living the life Diana wanted to live for herself. He believes he is continuing in her legacy. I have no doubt that my mom would be incredibly proud of me. I am living the life that she wanted to live for herself, living the life that she wanted us to be able to live. So not only do I know that she's incredibly proud of me, but that she's helped me get here. And I've never felt her presence more than I have over the last year. I wish she could have met Megan. I wish she was around for Archie, Harry said in the Me You Can't See. This is Diana's legacy. And although it has been more than 2 decades since she passed away, she remains alive in people's hearts. What do you think about Princess Diana? Tell us in the comments. If you like this video, like and share it. Subscribe to our channel for more.